Hey guys, Fight Mike here, back with another video. Today we're just going to be going through the UFC's Shanghai card that's happening in August. I'm going to be going through the first, the top 7 fights on the card, and I want to make a fight card that all MMA fans will be happy with. It's actually achievable. All of these guys are available to fight, from my understanding, and I actually think the UFC can make it, and I don't think the UFC are going to be putting together a good card for this. So, Dana, take notes. Have a look. So, starting off with the main event, we've got Song Yadong versus Rob Font. We've never seen Yudong fight. I hate saying his name. We never see Song headlining a China Fight Night at all, and we definitely need to see it before the end of his career. He's obviously very early into his career, but I still think we need to see this one. And this fight has been scheduled before. It was originally matched up for UFC 292, but Song Yadong pulled out for this one. Um, this fight does need to happen though, and out of everyone in the bantamweight division, most were not available for this date, and most of them were actually matched up already. So it was only really these two out of the top 10 that haven't fought each other and weren't matched up. Um, Stylistically, though, this is a great fight. Both of these guys like to box and strike. They both can go 5 rounds easily. And this is a matchup that I'd like to see as well before Font retires. He's definitely in the twilight of his career. So we want to see him in these striking, fun matchups that can actually progress him up the table. He's defended his rankings against Gene Matsumoto and Kyler Phillips, which is good, pretty decent wins there. And he doesn't need to be continuously fighting down. He's on a 2 fight winning streak as well, so that definitely adds to it. And it's literally probably the last opportunity that Rob Font has to jump up these rankings. Um, Although Song, I believe, does deserve someone a little bit higher ranked, he did win his last fight from an eye poke, so I really don't care if he's getting someone 2 spots below him in the rankings. Moving on to the co-main event for this one, it's Johnny Walker versus Zhang Ming Yang. From my understanding, this has already been made. We don't need this one over 5 rounds. I think that this is at this time set as a main event. This is definitely a co-main event type fight. Someone will definitely be getting slept within a round, so there's no need for 5 rounds. And that looks like it'll be Johnny Walker. Over the past few months, he's been getting dropped by 15-year-olds in sparring, so it's not looking good if you've got a 6'3" Zhang Ming Yang sprinting towards you. This is actually a really fun fight, though. It's a perfect co-main. It would get everyone super hyped up for the main event, seeing someone get flatline KO'd in 1 round. And I think that all the Chinese fans will love this one. I think Zhang Mingyang's somewhat of a star over there, so building him up with another highlight reel KO would be a good idea for them, especially in the home crowd. It definitely isn't main event worthy. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but I like watching a card and having like a pinnacle of a main event, something that we can all look forward to and we can say, oh yes, but we got this 5 round war or this 5 round like technical battle against these two guys. Whereas we're not seeing a 5 round technical battle against Zhang Mingyang and Johnny Walker at all. Moving on to the feature fight, though, we've got Yan Xiaonan versus Amanda Lemos. I'm actually pretty confident this is going to get made. I reckon Dana's got this one in the bag. They were both fighting on the same sort of schedule. Lemos just defended her ranking against Lucindo in March on UFC 313, and then Xiaonan lost to Verna Jandiroba in April. So their timeline is literally perfect for this one. They both barely took any damage, especially Yan Xiaonan. She just got wrestled for 3 rounds. She literally didn't take a shot that was like fully extended. It was only a couple of rabbit punches. And I think that she'll want to right the wrong after being so close to another title shot. So she'll want to jump straight back in there. And she often performs pretty well in China. And this is a fresh matchup too. We've seen Amanda Lemos. She's been around for a while, so she's fought a lot of the top 10 people in her division. So it's nice to get a fresh matchup on this, and it'll be interesting to see if Yan Xiaonan has improved her takedown defense. As we saw in Amanda Lemos, she was just pillaging the sport in her last fight against Yasmin Lucindo. Let's see if she can do that to Yan Xiaonan. If she can do that, give her a title elimination. Maybe get her to verse Verna Jandiroba. Moving on to the fourth fight up, I've got Uros Medic versus Li Jiliang. I'm actually really happy with this. Uros was booked for 316 against Chaos Williams, but had to withdraw due to a sinus infection. And I did see on Twitter, I think, that he does want to make a quick turnaround. He doesn't want to be out for too long. And anyone who's seen both of these guys fight know that this will be a fun matchup. They both really like their boxing. It'll definitely turn out to be a firefight. It's been basically a year since the Leech got KO'd by Carlos Prates, so he's definitely looking to jump back in there. And I think that this could be his retirement fight. He's 37 or 38. He's been losing and winning a couple, but not looking as good as he used to, not looking as sharp. And after being flatline KO'd by Prates for minutes after not being KO'd your entire career, I bet that this is going to be his last if he does fight on this card. It's the perfect location for a retirement fight for the Leech. Gets to be under his home crowd. And I think he actually does have a decent chance of beating Uros Medic, as we've seen Medic's chin fail him at the start of the year, so we can see if the Leech actually has someone left in him to do that to him. Moving on, though, to the fifth fight up, we have Charles Johnson versus Lona Kavanagh. This one I'm pretty sure has already been made up. I do really like this fight. It could be too early for Lona to get this Charles Johnson test. We've seen Johnson get some of these younger guys out of there pretty quickly, so it's a decent test for him. And I think that this will be a really fun and interesting matchup. These guys are both really good strikers. They're actual treat to watch, and they're very creative. So it'll be a fun fight. They both like to be at range as well, and they both are decent in the pocket. So it's going to be a really fun overall striking matchup. It's already been made, so I'm not going to harp on about it for too long. So we'll move on to the opener of the main card. We've got Rong Zhu versus Jai Herbert. I hope the UFC book this fight. I would love it if they could book this. Um, I bet Jai Herbert's trying to take the taste out of his mouth after getting beaten by Chris Padilla in such a boring fight. I think that he would try to get this one back, and I don't think he took that much damage from Chris. Rong Zhu did have a war with Cody Steele in February, but he dealt more of the damage than he took in that fight. He did take a little bit, a fair few shots in that, but he's definitely looking to turn around another time before the end of this year. It's a good prospect. Rongju's a really good prospect as well. He's only 25 or 26. He's had a boatload of mixed martial arts experience. And it would be nice to test where he is. And I feel like Jai Herbert's the sort of guy that you test. Because Jai Herbert's sort of like a middle range, like unranked guy in the lightweight division. So it's nice to test Rongju against him because he's sort of still like bottom tier in these unranked sections of the lightweight division. Um, the other thing about this fight, I'd like to see if Rongju has fixed the holes that he's had in this game over the last few years. His cage awareness is sometimes a little bit iffy, and he gets back to the fence a lot and taken down. He's got good scrambles, so he gets back up every time, but he gets taken down a lot, and he can get kicked a lot and just hit a lot against the fence. And I think that Jai Herbert would be a good guy to test if he's like fixed that hole in his game. I know that Jai Herbert follows game plans, so he will definitely try that against him. And he also does try to stall out fights a lot, which would be interesting to see if Rongju's got the scramble ability to stay out of those positions and win those positions. It'd also be very interesting to see how Rongju deals with a taller, rangier opponent like Jai Herbert, especially with the reach and experience that Jai Herbert has. It would be interesting to see how a young, like hungry prospect like a Rongju, who's got some electric striking, can deal with that sort of like British Leon Edwards, Lerone Murphy type boring style. Sorry, anyone who's British, but yeah, we'll get a good fight out of this. We can finally see a fun Jai Herbert matchup that isn't just him getting smoked, and we can test where Rongju is at in his career so far. Moving on to the prelim headliner though, we have Song Kenan versus Jonathan Mikalev. Song hasn't fought since he got KO'd in the Macau card last year by, I want to say, Muslim Salikov. He got spinning wheel kicked, which looked insane. Um, it's probably a good timing for him to come back. It's been about a year, and he would want to avenge his loss in the Chinese home crowd. I bet that didn't get flamed by the media, but I bet he was not enjoying getting smoked in front of his home crowd. He definitely wants to make that back. Um, for this fight, Mikalev beat Kevin Doucet by decision in Australia earlier this year. I think it was on 312. And Song Kenan actually lost to Kevin Doucet 2 years ago, but just by decision. It may not make sense to a lot of people's minds why I'm putting Mikalev against someone who lost against his last win, but it makes sense. Trust. I'll tell you why. So I think Mikolev being he's only about 26 years old, so it would be nice to keep him further down those unranked area, especially in the welterweight division. There's so many good guys there. You don't want to just jump him up to like one of those 20 to 30 ranked guys. We should probably keep him to the 30 to 50. And Zonkanan is definitely like that 45 ranked guy. Along with Kevin Jusay, they're both very similar in that unranked field. But I would say for Mikolev's style of fighting, he's a very point style fighter. He loves his kicking, he loves his front kicks. He's got a really nice rear body kick and even just lead leg body kick. He's got really clean striking. And he did verse a guy in Kevin Jusay who is a decision type fighter in his last fight. Jusay usually wins by like a pitter patter decision. He's a tit for tat type fighter, and that's the sort of fight that Mikolev wins. He is himself a good tit for tat fighter, and he's very accurate. His timing's really good. So I think that we should give him someone a bit more crazy and a bit more of a prolific finisher, and that is just Son Kanan. He's got many different types of finishes, and he finishes out of most different types of positions. He's a good submission guy. He's a good KO artist and he's not scared to put himself in harm's way, which we saw Kevin Jusay didn't put himself in harm's way against Mikolev in his last fight. So it'd be good to see someone challenging and someone who's really going to go at Mikolev and really put him in uncomfortable positions because most of his last fight against Kevin Jusay, he was kept at range, whereas I think Song Kanan, he'll lose at range for a bit and then he'll try for the takedown. He'll go in very close and he'll go to clinch. He'll go to all of these different methods of winning that Jusay is not going to try. So I think, although it's like a similar ranked guy in the unranked field, it's a level up in difficulty against Mikolev's style. And if Mikolev's manager can do him well, they'll throw him up against someone like this, an older guy, a slower guy, someone who's not in his prime anymore. And Mikolev can get tested from there. And the other thing that I like about this is that Australia is really close to China, and you don't want Mikolev flying to like the US, spending all of his paycheck and getting none of his team able to come over. It's a better place for him to fight if it's in China. It's only like a maybe it's a 8 or 9 hour flight, and it's probably not too expensive to get his team out there. So I think that since they're not doing an Australia card, from my understanding, let's throw him in the China card, not make the prospect spend his whole paycheck getting his team there, and putting him up against someone who's a difficult stylistic matchup against him. But that's it for the video, guys. If you want me to make the UFC France Fight Night card, I would love to do that. And if you've got any problem with my matchups, I'd love to see it in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know what you want from the next video. I'll catch you in the next one. See you later. Peace.